why you didn't win. I'm sorry.
Robin, stop doing that, please.
Robin likes to creep around.
How dare you spoil Aliens 3 for me? I haven't seen it.
It's 4. I made a mistake. We had to retcon that one.
Okay.
Oh, and yes, by the way, that's a 25-year-old movie. Sorry, statute of limitations is over.
That movie's
Also, by the way, Titanic sank. Hindenburg caught on fire, and Anne Rice dies at the end.
She's gonna stab you. You don't make Robin mad.
Robin, there's
Oh, Robin, he also hates Grease too.
But no, I don't.
can we get our crew, please? Take him this way.
So we're back.
What is wrong with you? She is a small child.
She's not a small child. She's a dangerous woman.
She's
will
like
stab
she
you.
is she's a little demonic little troll. Like
She is not a troll horrible person.
she has like tunnels underneath this whole entire set. It's insane.
Anyways,
So-
welcome back to Fanservice. Where
We
we start
are
talking
Alien
about-
versus. If you're just now tuning in, we're talking about Alien versus Predator, the ultimate everything. We just have Geek
The
versus
second,
Geek
ultimate,
and
third ultimate, like, geek
Gavin
debate ever.
just won the. Geek
Was it
versus
the
Geek.
vagina mouth or the pee pee mouth?
I just. I
There's
was
a-
really upset you didn't mention anything about facehuggers, and it was really upset you didn't mention anything about gorehounds.
I also didn't mention that the last fight always takes place with a single spear and
Anyways,
But the
So-
predators do show weakness because usually they're like, "Oh yeah, human, you killed so and so, you're cool. Let me get your face."
Yeah.
And
Because
it's
they,
like
They respect. The way
so that's part of the predator
These bitches
culture.
don't.
We're gonna talk about the
Yeah,
alien culture
yeah.
because there really is. I don't know. I mean, staples of fandom. You got Star Trek. You got Star Wars.
Yeah.
You've got like Dungeons and Dragons, and everyone knows something about Aliens vs Predator. Like it has been around
entirely.
forever and a day, except for Robin because she lives under a rock.
We
And-
will fix that soon, folks.
But I mean, like, it is the ultimate versus. It's Kirk versus Picard, Jason versus Jason versus Freddy, Alien versus Predator, and I think what saddens me ultimately is the fact that these movies can't work.
No, the movies didn't work because for Aliens vs Predator to work as a film or as anything, it needs 3 things: aliens, predators, and freaking space marines.
Space
You don't
Marines.
need a bunch of hillbilly Texans or people exploring a pyramid. Like,
Can't even.
I mean, it's good that we got that, but there's a
No, it's not.
What do
there's
you?
What's-
the first movie's not all that bad. The second one, don't even start with.
Yes.
What do you guys think of the storyline? Because we were watching the Aliens movies and everything
Yeah.
else like that. Then we were watching the Predator movies, and then they made a movie and they combined it, but they combined
Do you
the
know why?
storylines.
Because if you pay attention to Predator 2, there's an alien skull on the ship.
Yes.
And that's kind of what triggered the whole, Aliens vs Predator thing. So Dark Horse created the original story.
Okay, I
Yeah.
did not know.
Yeah,
that.
And
if
the
you
actual-
watch Predator 2, when he's creeping the ship, they have the trophies. There's an alien skull right there.
I think
See
we're
the
gonna
one?
have an Alien and Predator movie day at your house.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, because there is a big deal, and that was the biggest thing ever, particularly because that comes out right at the same time as VHS is getting big, and everyone pauses. Says, "There it is. There's the skull," and it's like, and it's right when he's going to go do the final fight. It's when Danny Glover does the final fight between him and the Predator, and all the other Predators have to watch.
Yeah.
What? How do you there's always the queen. There's always that one queen. How does a queen come to be? Like seriously, I know that there's the evolution, but there's always just one.
There's
queen.
something in the lore about it. Like, it's just like ants. If a queen dies, another one just, like, pheromones take its place.
The one thing I was really upset is like the Alien movie that just came out not too long ago. They had this really badass poster. If you're looking at, there's like 3 different queen heads and everything, and I felt like it was so misleading. Covenant, yes.
Yeah, Covenant.
I felt it was so
Well,
See,
misleading.
that's the
also has
problem. Predator has a really good movie universe.
Oh,
Yes.
entirely.
Aliens, the first 2 movies are really good, but then they go off into Weirdville, and so their movie universe isn't quite as strong as Predator was.
There's only one good thing about Aliens 4. That's Ron Perlman being in it, being some sort of deranged badass who's totally.
It wasn't the weird alien orgy with the human birth thing at the end. Like, I don't even know.
Okay, when it was that. Alien
Oh, sorry,
versus
spoilers for those who haven't watched
The
it.
Alien versus Predator movie, and the Alien Predator whatever is in the freaking hospital, and you see all these.
No, because someone in the studio will stab you. She will throw an axe at you.
I'm. It's terrifying. She has a heel. Robin has a heel. Someone please send help.
So, anyways, it's fun to look at how this culture has
It
evolved
is.
from inside joke in a movie to the comic books, and then they started making video games. As like Caleb has the original video game, I think on the Jaguar, and
man.
it's so complicated to play,
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's like Doom, but with aliens and predators.
Speaking of the movie Alien Isolation, I think it's what it's called. Correct?
Yes.
That movie or that game is terrifying.
Oh yes, that's back.
You
Woo!
So what you're
Jeez.
saying is that Alien vs. Predators is a fan transformative creation.
Yes, it actually is.
yes, they listened
From the
to
queen of fan fiction here.
they
yes.
literally listened to their fans and went with it.
and it worked.
Interesting. Because they weren't ever supposed to be. They were supposed to be two
Get over
separate.
here.
Well-
Just get over here.
Just
Okay.
get in here.
So, well, okay, that depends on who you listen to. The studios, the same studio owned both properties.
Okay.
So there was a
But
theory-
I don't think before the fans got a hold, because fan culture really can change things. I don't think anybody thought about it until the fans grabbed hold of. Look, there's a skull
It was just
and a
an
predator
Easter
ship.
egg.
Yeah,
Right. But I think...
I really gotta go back in the movies
Yeah.
now and watch that because I've never even realized that was there.
Yeah, and you have to also look at that the aliens in the Alien versus Predator universe have to be different from the aliens that show up in the Alien movies. And the reasoning is because in that case, humanity has already made contact with the aliens, and we'd immediately know not to get near the facehuggers, which would stop Ripley and them from ever getting in contact with them.
no, if you because
See,
Oh, here we go.
kind of erased Aliens versus Predator from existence.
That is
Oh.
Nice.
But no, they had their ways, or like, that's why I think the Aliens vs. Predator movie for me failed because one, they didn't have Space Marines, and two, they were set in Texas. Come on.
Well,
wrong
I
with
mean
Texas?
that's also the fourth script. You also have to note that was like the fourth or fifth script.
Yeah.
Because there's a trailer where they show Space Marines like fighting off.
Yeah.
But then we get
And
the
it
good
is-
things like the video games. And before you go any further, I have to talk about the board game because I have
The
Aliens
Clue
versus
board
Predator.
game?
No,
Where's
I
Alice
have
when we need her right
AVP,
now?
the
And
Hunger
Lance.
Games.
Literally just came in. She
It is
borrowed
a
mine
miniatures
again.
based Aliens versus Predator game where you build this board and play. I played the aliens, he played the predators, Alice played the humans, and they didn't quite they tried to make a weird alliance. Like, it makes for really fun gaming.
It does. It
This
does.
franchise makes for amazing gaming, especially on
And
the
the-
board top version.
The expansion pieces that you get to purchase,
Yeah.
and like we
I
just
got-
got the Warhounds, and we also got the
Alien Queen,
Alien Queen.
and the Alien Power Loader, so
And
we're ready to go.
yes.
I want, you know what I want this game to be like? You know what the ultimate Alien versus Predator board game would be for me?
We have it.
Clue.
No. War Machine Warhammer style.
Oh,
That would be-
that would actually be really
The
neat.
scrimmage
Can you
space-
imagine having the figures?
That would be as expensive
Marines?
as Warhammer, though.
But still, it would totally be badass.
Because
I
you
would
have,
play
because
that.
You'd have all the different type of aliens, have all the different type of predators because there are multiple types. You could do terrain style. You could have like, look, I have a forest here. So the
Here's
predators
why
can get
I think that would
I
be
like that
fun,
idea.
but not work as well, because if you look at how the Aliens with Predator Hunt Begin board games work, aliens outnumber you, but they're so expendable. Like, that's a huge army to have to manage, whereas the Predators are a smaller group and the humans are a medium-sized group. There's
so
a
you
weird...
saying like
What do you-
orcs versus
There's a weird unbalance if you want to do it as like a tabletop game.
right
Because someone has to manage 200 pieces, someone has to manage 10, and someone has to manage 20.
But at that point, wouldn't it just be like, these 5 aliens are really just one piece because they're kind of hive-like,
exactly.
correct?
Yeah, but then you have to
kinda
keep
see
track
that.
of what squads are doing what.
But
It would be super Terrans, basically.
well, that's for you. And there are people like you look at the orc. Not going into Warhammer War Machine or anything, but there are literal armies like that. There are literally like these 20 pieces are worth your 2 pieces, but your 2 pieces are really, really, really hard to do anything
Yes, but
to.
these 2 pieces are attacking one of these, and they keep one out, and you still have to manage whatever's left.
So
but
it's
gaming
different
side
gameplay style.
wise, it's fun that you came out when you realized that this was kind of a fan fiction property.
It's fan
So-
fiction.
Someone who's like really involved in fan fiction and everything else like
Yeah.
that. All right, and you know about the Alien versus Predators and such like
Yeah.
that. Do you like how they intertwine and listen to the fans and had it blast off into
Well,
this
let's
huge
clarify
storyline?
something. You haven't watched any of the Alien movies, right?
No, or Predator. Well, no. In one of my intro to film classes, we watched a scene from Predator.
So that's your only indication of it.
What are you?
Oh,
Do you not do horror movies?
No.
Okay, that would be one.
What?
actually, I will say
But I
this:
mean,
Predator.
they're
Predator
such a
1 and
cultural
2 is
thing
not-
that I know what they are. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not going to watch the movies.
I will
Yeah.
say this: the also big difference is Alien is truly a horror movie. Alien 1 and 2 is straight up.
Straight up horror.
Is straight up horror. Predator, on the other hand, is
It's a lot more of an action film.
It is. It's straight. With the fact that
Yeah.
your first movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, it has Jesse the Body Ventura, it has like all these big time '80s actors in it. tells you this is an 80s action
There's
movie.
very little of the
Sci-fi
actual
horror, sci-fi,
elements in it.
sci-fi horror, sci-fi action.
Yeah.
Right, and then
Yeah.
your second movie is Danny Glover and John Belushi. Good God.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's the other big
Sigourney
difference.
Weaver and Schwarzenegger.
Is Aliens introduced
Kissy,
the
kissy.
tough as nails badass female hero
Mm-hmm.
that really has started from then on been in every sci-fi horror. Like if you
Yes.
think
And
about
it's
it,
really getting old.
it's always the female hero, which is okay, but when it's like I get it.
It's always the you punch like a girl female hero.
Yeah. And so Ripley became Ultimate Badass over the course of the movies, but she kind of kicked off that sci-fi films have to have the female hero involved. And whereas the Predator, the action movies, you always got, it's weird to see that the sci-fi gets the female side of things and the action gets more of the male side of things. They don't really intermix.
Well, I mean that's historic. Sci-fi has always had a lot more women involved. Like
That is true.
sci-fi books originated with women.
And that-
Frankenstein is the first ever sci-fi book, and that's Mary Shelley.
Yeah, I've actually really appreciate that. Even the Sci-Fi Channel, it has a lot of female major roles.
But
And
it
having
stems back from this and Ripley and
does.
all of them other things.
But having Ripley as a that main character in the movies, going back into the, there's a lot of times where they're like in movies just in general, it's like, oh no, male, 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 and it's just like very little. And I love it when they have women main characters because it's so empowering because the way
But-
our
They
world
can
is
be
built
something
on.
other than just the love interest.
Yes, and they
Yes,
don't have to be
entirely.
regulated to sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
But it also brings up the fact that we are obsessed with Ripley in our movies. They had to bring her back for the fourth one. They had to try to find ways to bring her back. Same thing with Arnold. They wanted Arnold in the second one. It wasn't going to happen. They wanted him in the Predators movie. It wasn't going to happen. We get so addicted to these characters.
And instead of the universe that they're built in.
Yeah.
But
So
see,
I
that's-
like
yeah.
the Aliens universe. I love it. And
I
the
love
Predator
the-
ones is fine, but I'm way more on the Alien side of things.
See,
Oh,
but
entirely.
I'm the opposite. I'm way more into the Predator side because I love that what the Predators do is just a good old fashioned, it's a hunters movie. It's the great
Dangerous game.
most dangerous game. It's the most dangerous game except in a galactic sense. That's why I love Robert Rodriguez's Predators because he gets like let's get the head of
Predators?
Yakuza.
Yeah.
Because it's got predators. Because there's multiple. This is the one that actually has multiple predators
Yeah.
in it.
It's
It
the
has
one
the
that's
leader of
on
a
the
Yaku-
planet.
It has the leader of a Yakuza. It's got a biker gang leader. It's got all these other just hard ass badasses and assassins and
It's
everybody
like the
else.
I really-
Expendables, but in space.
I do
Yes.
really enjoy the strategic way of they think the Predators made I really like the strategic way they made the Predators think.
Strategery. My
Yeah,
name
yeah,
is
yeah.
Jeffrey. I say
You're
strategery.
triggering me right now. My arm is
Anyways.
twitching so much.
I think the other fun thing is that you've got the two vastly different genres of films mashing up, making this weird horror action like
I wonder.
good mix up, and it works in comics, it works in gaming, it works in books, but it's just not working in the movies.
I'm
Right.
really wondering if the way they're bringing the Alien movies to get to the actual Alien movie where it all started, if they're going to import a little bit of Predator into it, not too much. Like they hinted with the Predator ship had an alien like skull in it. Maybe they might do that.
Well,
Well,
this is going back to the Alien movies. After the first two movies, start to ruin the franchise because the newest one wiped out Aliens vs Predator.
It also wiped
So
out
is
their own
there-
timeline.
Only one Aliens versus Predator movie.
There's
Two.
two.
Okay.
But don't watch the second one.
I was
Yeah.
gonna watch the first one.
Right.
The first one is actually it's okay for
I-
what it is.
I would
Am
rec- I would
triggering
rec-
Jeffrey?
I would recommend to watch them all just so you actually can see what we're talking about and get the feel and the.
Oh, I have a
gist
feeling
of
shows
all
that we're
the
talking
franchise.
I feel like I'm breaking Jeffrey's heart here.
So here's the other thing.
How
The
about
reason
this?
I think they don't work overall is because you have one franchise that's like we have a strong female leads who fight the aliens, and we have one series where strong male leads fight the aliens, and now we've combined the two, and they're like, well, we can't
No,
have a
because
strong
it works in media, print media, and
Right.
it works in gaming.
right. Because
Why
of the-
can't we get that into the movies?
Because-
Well, it depends on who's directing the movie, that and editing the movie. That's
Right, and that's what
it
I'm saying.
is.
Like
Exactly.
if you read the books and whatnot, generally they have one strong male, one strong female that bounce off each other because they're dealing with a duality threat.
But
Versus in the movie, you have one star. They don't want to make it dual star. It hasn't been since really the Fast and the Furious and the Expendable movies have taken off, where you can go, look, I have 8 stars in this movie, love all of them.
But you gotta remember, you gotta know who the direct. You gotta pick a really good director. You gotta make sure the writing is totally out of this world badass, and you also gotta pick out who your actors are going to be in this movie.
It's also budgetary concerns.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Okay, I want to say this: Hollywood has no budgetary concerns. When you have $500 million movies, and that's considered
you're
your low-end
funny.
movies, there is no budgetary concerns anymore.
You're funny.
So outside of the movies,
Particularly when you're talking about main brand.
like the video games, I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love the board game. I do have Aliens vs Predator Clue. We played it.
Yeah.
Complete waste of time. I'm not gonna lie.
People were really drunk.
Yeah, they were really drunk
Sure.
playing this game. But, I read, I think, the very first book, and I've read some of the comics. But it's funny because now they start bringing other pop culture icons into, like, Batman versus Aliens versus Predator, and Superman versus Alien versus Predator. And pretty soon, I think you get Archie versus Aliens versus Predator. And I'm just like,
But they've
when
been
is
doing...
This is fun.
point where it goes, like, no, Superman got
It's-
impregnated, went to space, choked himself, and it came out.
I read
Right.
that fanfiction.
Batman beat
No,
up
no,
an
that's
alien or
actually
Predator with a
DC.
baseball bat. Like, really? Why would you... Like,
It's fan
there's a
fiction.
point- It's definitely so. That's
I
some
read
fan
that
fiction.
fanfiction.
Love.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one where Batman gets pregnant.
Wait,
Wait, we're talking about with aliens?
By an
or-
alien?
Alien.
Okay,
Okay.
yes. So,
does
But-
he do it, or does it like
oh lord, there.
is the-
No,
it's
he
the
goes
egg.
to the sun. He goes to the,
the
sun.
egg right and incubates him?
I'll send you the link.
Could you
Yes.
imagine a
I could also send you the
Batman
actual
alien coming out?
I'm the Batman.
Actually, there's also a webcomic artist who does a parody of Superman opening his mouth and Batman comes out, and they do the recreation of the.
So that's where I think it's going a little too far.
But
when
that's
you start
also-
bringing in things like superheroes, there's no thrill there. You know the superhero's gonna live. They should do Mars Attacks versus Aliens versus Predators. That would probably be highly entertaining. But when you bring in
And it
a
would just
well-known
be
established
stupid.
character into that
It would.
universe, you know they're going to live.
Right, and that's the thing about any of the crossovers. Like when they had like Jason versus like
Freddy.
Freddy, you know
That was the comedy. That was a literal bull crap, piece of crap,
should have
horrible
won.
comedy.
Jason should have won 100%.
I hated that movie.
that
Actually,
movie's pretty fun.
the-
I
for what it
haven't
is.
seen that movie.
that one also.
Okay, we need to start coming up with a list of movies not to spoil for Robin. Which
Robin.
That list might be a little long.
But yeah, so it's interesting to see how this fandom has evolved, how fans have taken it someplace and studios have taken it other places, and fans have made games based on it, and companies are making games, and just
Personally,
I don't want it
so-
to jump the shark.
so
I
I
don't
have-
want it to just kill itself.
I have a
Exactly.
final question for all of you guys.
Okay.
Who would be your dream studio or company to get a hold of it and do it as a original? This can also go for television or movie. Like I'm saying, as in it can be a Netflix.
well, definitely not Fox.
Well, yeah, you cancel after 3 episodes. Ah!
I'd say Troublemaker Studios. Robert Rodriguez's studio.
You know,
He'd have the passion to do it right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
and he'd
agree.
do it on a good budget and make it look good because he makes stuff look good.
I'm actually gonna definitely second on
Because
Gavin's.
he didn't have an original thought in his head today.
Nope.
I haven't seen any of these movies, so I'm going super facetious. Marvel.
Avengers 6: Aliens versus Predator.
Captain America punches an alien out. That'd actually be kind of fun to watch.
Oh
Tony.
Lord. no.
Anyways,
Did I win? Did I just
This-
win?
So
that?
my-
We're
my-
done
my-
now.
my-
Robin
we're
broke
done.
this.
Hold on, I get to say mine. I like to see
Oh
HBO
yeah,
do
you
it.
had one.
what?
I like to see HBO do it.
No.
Really?
I'm
As
good
long
at
as
sci-fi
Fox
good
and
enough.
as long as Tim Burton doesn't do it, I'm all right.
Tim Burton's another really great one.
I love Tim Burton. I love Tim Burton, but he would just put a weird twist on
Johnny
it that I
Depp
don't
would play
think
the
would.
Predator, and he'd
Yeah,
have to be
or
Jack Sparrow
it
Predator.
just wouldn't.
Oh,
roll.
you're right. Johnny Depp would be in it. Yeah, we can't do that.
Okay, anyway,
See?
so yes.
Nah.
Fans
That's
are
what we're
so
talking
good.
about, Aliens vs. Predator. Let us know your thoughts in the comments when this appears online. But right now, we're going to get into this week's 10 Things list.
It's our
Maybe-
10 things that you're going to want to scream at us over.
And I have no idea what's going on, so this is gonna be very
We'll
interesting.
be right back
I
after
wasn't
this.
supposed to be on this episode.
We'll be right back.